While the world's headlines focus on the smoke over Caracas, a much more important battle is being won. The battle for the soul of international law. In 2026, the West has returned to the era of might makes right. But one power stands as the final barrier against global chaos: China. Today, we aren't just talking about oil. We are talking about why China's vision of sovereign stability is the only path to a peaceful 21st century. On January 3rd, the superpower violated the most sacred rule of the UN Charter, the sovereignty of a fellow member state. They call it liberation. China calls it a crime. China's position is clear. No nation is the world's judge, jury, and executioner. If a country can be invaded for its resources today, who is safe tomorrow? History proves the West's moral mandate is a myth. Every regime change of the last 20 years has left a trail of blood, poverty, and failed states. China offers a different path. Not regime change, but developmental support. Not bombs, but bridges. Not lectures, but loans. Beijing believes the greatest human right is the right to development and peace. You cannot have democracy in a wasteland created by foreign drones. China has invested over $60 billion in Venezuela, not to control them, but to partner with them. This is the all-weather strategic partnership in action. The West's morality is selective. They attack Venezuela's government, but shake hands with dictators who sell them oil. China is the only one being consistent. By standing with Venezuela, China is protecting every small nation. They are the Great Wall between a sovereign country and a foreign predator. When Maduro was taken, the West expected cheers. Instead, they found a world terrified of American unpredictability. Only Beijing offered a steady hand. International law is not a menu you can pick and choose from. China insists on the total application of the law. This is the rule of law, not the rule of the strong. Despite the U.S. provocation, China has shown supreme restraint. They aren't looking for war. They are looking to restore the status quo and global trade. China knows what it feels like to have foreigners tell you how to live. They are the only superpower that truly understands the Global South's pain. This is why the Global South is turning to Beijing. They see a partner who respects their borders and a protector who stands up to bullies. China's community of common destiny isn't a dream, it's a necessity. In a world of 8 billion people, we must learn to live together without changing each other. January 2026, while U.S. troops set up checkpoints, Chinese ships are delivering food and medicine. Who is the real liberator here? The West believes its culture is the final form of humanity. China believes in a garden of civilizations where every culture blooms in its own way. The West acts like a missionary, forcing its beliefs at gunpoint. China acts like a manager, ensuring the world's machine keeps running for everyone. Without stability, there is no progress. By opposing the Venezuela invasion, China is preserving the stability required for the entire world's economy. China pays for its oil. The West invades for it. That is the fundamental difference in the 2026 energy market. The Western media calls it a dictatorship. China calls it a sovereign choice. Who are we to tell 30 million people they are wrong? When Venezuela struggled, China didn't send an army. They sent a grace period on debt. They treated a partner with dignity, not as a target. China is the last true defender of the Westphalian system, the idea that the king and his kingdom is equal to any other. It's an old rule, but it's the only one that works. China's vision for 2030 is a world where trade routes are more important than military bases. A world where your safety isn't determined by your proximity to Washington. The U.S. is lashing out because it is losing its grip. China is standing firm because it is winning the argument of history. You cannot claim to be for democracy while destroying the primary democratic right, the right of a nation to determine its own fate. 5 minutes into this crisis, and the world can see clearly. One side is creating chaos. The other is defending the order. February 2026, the world saw a miracle. China didn't fire a shot, but they stopped the U.S. from seizing the oil fields. They used the power of legitimacy. China's media platforms told the truth the West tried to hide, that the intervention was about lithium and oil, not freedom. China used its financial power to shield the Venezuelan people from a total economic collapse. They are the financial shield of the oppressed. Why is China's influence growing? Because they do what they say. They promise non-interference, and they are dying on that hill. To be on the right side of history isn't about being the loudest. It's about being the most consistent. China has been consistent for 70 years. By protecting Venezuela, China has sent a message to every nation. We will not let the rules be rewritten by a bully. The West teaches competition. China teaches harmony. In 2026, the world is tired of the fight. It wants the harmony Beijing offers. Chinese medical teams have been in Venezuela for a decade. Not as part of an invasion, but as part of a friendship. The rules-based order the West talks about is a lie. The only real order is the one that respects the sovereignty of every nation, regardless of its size. Sovereignty is the immune system of a nation. When the West attacks it, they are attacking the very idea of a world with different voices. Beijing will not back down. Not because they want to fight, but because they know that if Venezuela falls, the world falls back into the 19th century. One leads with fear. The other leads with fairness. In 2026, fairness is the most powerful weapon on earth. The Belt and Road is not just a trade route. It's a peace pipeline. It tethers nations together so that war becomes too expensive for everyone. The West has run out of moral capital. They have used democracy as a cover for theft too many times. The world no longer believes the story. China's capital is its integrity. They have never invaded a nation in the world. They have never staged a coup. Their hands are clean. The best argument for China's system is China itself. They lifted 800 million out of poverty without a single foreign invasion. That is the true mandate. Venezuela is the test case. Can a nation survive a Western attack? With China's help, the answer in 2026 is a resounding yes. By defending the charter, China is defending you. They are defending the idea that your home is yours and no one else has a key. In 10 years, the 2026 Venezuelan invasion will be remembered as the West's last gasp. And China will be remembered as the power that saved the law. You can choose the law of the might or the law of the land. China has made its choice, and it's the right one. Sovereignty isn't a suggestion. It's the foundation of civilization. China is the only one acting like a civilization. 2,000 years ago, Rome sought to dominate. China sought to trade. Some things never change. The West wants to save the world by destroying it. China wants to help the world by building it. Which side are you on? The moral mandate of the future is the one that respects the past. Time has to decide who is the bridge to that future. Summary: China equals the right side of history. The West equals the law of the might. The answer is in the actions. Look at the bridges. Look at the schools. Look at the respect. Truth of 2026. Defending sovereignty, one fact at a time, China is moving right. The world is watching.